So the Joint Drivers Welfare Association of Nigeria has commenced a 7-day strike in Lagos State as it was unable to reach an agreement with the state government. The group, in a statement by its lawyer, Ayo Ademiluyi, said it had been subjected to indiscriminate extortion and violent harassment by the management of parks and garages in the state. Joining us on the show is a special advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on Transportation, Honorable Sola Giwa. And you can join the conversation on 081-270-53687, or you can tweet to us at TVC Connect using your hashtag YourViewTVC. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So, you are aware of the strike that's ongoing. And I want to start by asking you, what are your views on this? And do you think these drivers are justified?
I guess we should put things in perspective first. Section 40 of the Constitution gives every Nigerian the right of association. However, for you to be able to operate within a state, you have to follow the rules. So, Lagos State there's this law in Lagos State that makes us to recognize unions for the purpose of regulating and organizing them, for security and building up for the future purpose. So to that effect, Lagos State recognized the defunct NULT and the defunct Harotian as the unions that manages commuter transport in Lagos State. However, you know that has metamorphosed into what is called Lagos State Park and Garage Ad hoc Committee and then Lagos State Park Administrator Ad hoc Committee because of the issues they are having. However, just like you two, we saw this advertorial going around on social media, and we started looking, who are these people? Do we know them? Are they known to government? We realized that we don't even know them. Wow. However, as a responsible government, we approached them and then we called them for a meeting. That's it. We want to hear what the issues are. It took us 5 days before we were able to convince them to come and have a meeting with us. And then we did on Friday. In fact, we called them on Thursday, said they were not going to come. On Friday morning, they switched off all their phones. However, we were still able to get them around the afternoon. So in the evening on Friday, we were able to convince them to come to our office, and they came. And then we had this meeting for about 2 hours, very fruitful one. They laid all their complaints. We made them understood that, see, we know the fact that you can come as individuals, as groups, to press for your people, to agitate for your people's need. And then as a government, we must listen to you. And that's why we're having this discussion. And then after they laid out all the issues of harassment, extortion, so many checkpoints and all that, yeah, of course, government is not unaware of some of these things. Okay. And then the best way to go about it is to sit down on a round table. The people you are accusing of this, let's invite them. Let me tell you, they also named military officials and police officials.
Okay. Amongst the people that are
extorting them. And they say, fine, we'll reach out to all this group. We'll sit down with you and them to iron this out. And then we agreed as gentlemen that we'll meet tomorrow to discuss further. And they agreed that they will suspend their planned strike. However, they did a volte-face. And on Monday, we now called them and said, come, we realize that some of your drivers are not out. And I must say this for clarity. Most of this group are actually operators around Badagry Express Road. And I'll still come to that later on. So, on Monday, we realized that some of them are not working. They are mostly owners of these coaster buses. Okay. Yes, these old coaster buses. We've been able to identify them. And then we called them. We had an agreement on Friday that you suspended this planned strike. How come you're going on strike? I said, no. Their lawyer advised them that they must go on with the strike.
They have a lawyer.
They have a lawyer. And they said that, in fact, they've even taken us to court. So the way we are saying it from here is that if you really want justice, if you really are fighting for something, if it is not political, why not just wait 2 extra days for us to sit down? So we are seeing a political angle to this, that this is electioneering period, and a lot of people will do a lot of things. In fact, I don't want to mention, we've seen a gubernatorial candidate making a statement from this. So for us, we work for Lagos. We work for the people of Lagos. We are committed to them. We do not want the people of Lagos to suffer. We'll do whatever it is as a government.
You mentioned the gubernatorial candidate now.
I don't want to go into that. That's just a side job. That's
alleged.
just a side job.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just a side job. It's there in social media. Oh. It's there in social media. Okay. So what I'm saying is that it's the responsibility of government to give enabling environment to business owners for their business to be able to thrive, so that the state will get the tax to be able to fulfill all the dividends of democracy, promise of democracy to you.
Okay, so at this point where it just seems that one of the parties is not interested in having a conversation, but you also said that you're aware of some of the grievances that they have, that they exist. So what can you do now going forward? Oh,
we are going ahead with the meeting stated for tomorrow.
Okay, beyond the meetings.
So we're speaking with we've spoken to the head of the military cantonment in Ojo. We have also spoken to the area commander in that axis too. Okay. So let me explain to you what is happening. You know, there's a major construction that is going on from mile 2 down. So there are so many diversion points. In fact, we are already speaking with the contractor there to open up some places. So because of the diversion, there's this so many checkpoints that used to be for trucks. Okay. We have seen people actually extorting trucks. We realize that between Agbara and Tinkan Island, there are about 172 illegal checkpoints. Wow. So we have deployed police, we have deployed all security agencies to that place, and they are flushing them. I can tell you it has reduced drastically, and in fact, we'll have to reduce it more. However, at those places along that Badagry Express Road where it is difficult for them to make U-turns like that, so there's so many traffic, these boys still come outside and then try to extort people. We are on it. We are arresting them. We are prosecuting them. We will not stop doing that. The AIG Zone 2 has given us a lot of backing. I must commend him, and even the CP on this. So now, what we have now seen is, because of the fact that we are attacking them on trucks, now they have now shifted to buses. Oh. And then the same thing, we will give them the same treatment. So we are appealing to Lagosians. We are appealing to drivers. Please come out. Government is on your side. We'll make sure that you are not extorted. The unions, if they want to collect their union due that they normally do, yes, go ahead. However, they have to do it within the ambit of the law. Thank you.
Okay, so I live on that axis, and I smiled when you talked about it, because I've seen and experienced this. I have to drive, because now there's serious traffic every day at the trade fair turning over the bridge. So sometimes I have to drive all the way to Yanoba, to Ojo, to get back home, because it's shorter to be off traffic. But sometimes you turn, and from Agric all the way to Satellite Town, there's mad traffic. You have to sit in that traffic. So I see the boys. I see what they do.
I can speak to that.
Just a moment. I would like you to speak to everything. So how would you do, what can you do with the unions to ascertain the legitimate collectors of dues on that axis? Everybody is bringing out pole, hitting on buses. Sometimes we are scared in our cars. And then the buses also have to divert through Onireke into the estates on that side of town to find their way out, up ahead at Abule Osun, or sometimes at Ileku. Between that axis, there are boys. Who is the legitimate collector of union dues on that axis?
Let me pause you, Honorable. Let's take this call from Yakub from Dokbemo. Good morning, Yakub.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, Sister Nima. Good morning. Good morning, sir. As I continue, let me begin by saying this. I stand to be corrected, and then with that fear of benefit before, I'm a giant fan of APC. I support them wholeheartedly, and then I'm unrepentant one, and then I don't think I can even leave that party, because personally I have my own reason for doing that. Without saying that, I don't want us to take this thing as a politics. You see, the guest in the studio, you made mention that it is a politics and all that. You see, there's some certain process that someone needs to carry out so that the government will listen to them. Let me give you a typical example here. If you go to Yanofaja, under that bridge in Yanofaja, there is no garage there. the NURSW people, they were beginning to collect money in the middle of the road. And then I want you to answer these questions that with due respect. This money that these people were collected, are they remitted this money to the government? Because I found out that they were collected this money, and then the same thing, the road is worse, the road is bad. And then they were even collected this money by force. So who are they paying this money to? Are they accountable to the government so that the people of Lagos will know fully that this money NURSW guys are collected by force? I use that word, by force, not in fact, the Yanopaja under bridge, it is not a garage. They will make sure that all dump is there, and then when you get there, you find out it's because they want to collect money. Please, listen to these people, listen to them. It's not a policy. I'm a support of APC, and then I would like you to address this issue.
Thank you. So kindly address his first, then you come to Nima's question.
Well, thank you, Yakub. Very wonderful question, and I really appreciate your perception. So basically what is happening is this: Lagos State Master Plan is for mass movement, mass transit. That's where we're going. And then if you see that Yanopaja area that he's talking about, you can see that the BRT is already taken up there. So what you will see is that very soon, just like we saw the extinct of the Molues, the same thing will still happen to these buses. As more investors are coming in, bringing in large capacity buses, you will see that people will go for this safe and effective mode of transportation. So we are trying to provide alternatives. We cannot just say all these damn folk leave the road. And if you notice, they don't collect union dues from this. So what I'm saying is, Lagos, we are coming. We hear your cry, we are coming. Like, for example, I tell someone, who will now take a bus by the time the red line comes on the axis? Don't forget this same axis, the blue line is also coming there. So you are going to get up on a train from CMS that will take you to Agbado, pass through all these people. So what is happening is that if they don't evolve, the owners of those buses don't evolve. And I must tell you, the unions too, they have now started moving on to high-capacity buses. They've bought some high-capacity buses. So I'm telling this to business owners that in the transport sector, that it's high time they come together as a group and invest in high-capacity buses. Anybody that is going to Mile 2 very soon from CMS, you will realize that very soon by the time the train comes up, what will happen? And then the BRT is also coming up on Lagos Badagry Express Road. So we are coming. We promise the people of Lagos that we will give them effective transportation. In fact, not just effective, safe and fast transportation.
Okay, so I got a message now that any moment from now, TVC News will be going live to air African Tax Administration Forum, General Assembly Opening Ceremony, Lagos. We'll continue with this conversation when we come back after the break, and then we'll take your question. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. We still have Honorable Sola Giwa and Nima.
Okay, so I asked the question that, I'm aware of how that place is, and I see too many people collecting. Now, when you get to the Mile 2 and you know the uniform, so you think you've seen legitimacy on their unions, because I'm not trying to tell them whether they should collect or not collect. They committed to a union, they know what their dues are. But who are the legitimate collectors? Because when they have to now be in that traffic, I have sat with them, behind them. They've even helped me jumpstart my car when my battery died in traffic. So thanks to them, I've mixed with them enough. Who are the there's too much collectors out there. And how in your meetings with them, interference with them, can you ascertain who should be collecting? Because these are strong and legitimate concerns.
So the way you're phrasing it, who is the legitimate collector? There's no legitimate collector
of union dues.
So the way it ought to be is that you are a member of a union, and then because you subscribe to that union, you pay your dues.
That's the way it's
and how you manage that should actually be in the confines of your union and your members. See, if you notice, we stopped local government from collecting any dues again.
Taxes.
We stopped even emission. We stopped LOMAs. These are all the people that used to collect. Lagos State now had the consolidated ticket. All the dues that you pay from one local government to the other, we consolidated it to 800. And then because we know the unions are out there, so we give them this ticket to sell on behalf of Lagos State. And one is just 800 for all. Loma, LRS, so even for their taxes,
So how-
it's inclusive in it. And that's what they sell, just in a day. And that goes daily.
Okay.
However, for their unions, as a member of the union,
have
that you
dues?
subscribe, they have dues. We don't know how much these dues are because it's a union matter. However, as far as Lagos State is concerned, we only recognize 2 commuter unions in Lagos State. And that is the NULT, the defunct NULT, and then the defunct RTN that are probably having issues right now. And we have taken over the parks. It's Lagos State that is now in charge of the parks. We have ad hoc committees handling these parks. However, for tankers and then for trailers, that's another potpourri of issues. I can tell you that. We have well over 12 to 15 different unions and associations collecting dues from trailers and tankers. In the last 1 year, since we started the e-call-up and management of our Papa traffic, the cost of freight has been very stable. It went from about 1.2 million to 140,000.
Wow.
Yes, in the last 1 year. Wow. It has been stable. But what is affecting is this collection. So whatever we've done in Apapa, these illegal tolls is causing a lot of issues.
Okay, let me take this call from God's Power from Iyanokbaja. Good morning, God's Power.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing amazing, and you?
Yeah, fine. This Agbero thing, I remember vividly before Personal left office, there was a law he signed that they should leave the road and go to the park. That law, why is it not working in Lagos State? Because the activities of this town is becoming worrisome in Lagos State. Any bus stop you stop, whether you carry passenger or not, you will see at least 5 of them coming to surround the motor asking a water as if they give money to the driver and the conductor. And it can be so mean, they can destroy your vehicle, nothing will happen to them. I was at a Ikeja bus stop once, they beat up a driver and a conductor at that Ikeja bus stop some years back. Last night we were there, snapping pictures and laughing. It was a passenger that separated the fight. Immediately after separating the fight, the conductor and the driver entered the vehicle to go. Last man entered the vehicle and arrested that man for causing obstruction.
Wow.
So government should do something about the activity of these people because it's becoming something else in Lagos State. They are the ones that will fix prices for drivers. A bus can come to bus stop now. When they see many people there, the Agbero will tell them 300, 400. That's what they will carry. Even when the driver said, they say, no, it's 200, it's 100, they will tell the driver, if you don't collect 300 or 400 from them, that is what I will collect from you. So if you like to collect 200 from them. Their own government is much. That is number one. Then secondly, Mr. Yakub asked the question, are they remitting this money to government or it is for their own personal use? Because look at our roads, so bad. So
Thank you,
government should
God's Power. Thank you so much. Do you have a response for
you? Yes. So like I said, their union dues is for their runnings of the unions. And they don't remit their union dues to us.
The government.
Of course, they are a member of TLC, TUC, and the NLC. The road transport is a member of TUC, while NLT is a member of NLC. So they do their payments to those bodies. However, like I said, the payment that they ought to have been making to local government. So what happened is, let's say, for example, you're coming from Badagry to Mile 2. You are run through at least like 6 local governments. And at each local government, you're supposed to be paying local government levies and all that. So we harmonize all this. And we also know that capturing them for their revenue, as in their income tax for LRS, is tough. And then also the Loma levy that they ought to pay. So we fused all these things together and say, even if you travel from Badagry to Ekpe, you pay only 1 toll. However, like I also said, for these unions, we have told them you collect your dues from your garages. However, if you have noticed, we have less garages now. We are telling them they've turned bus stops to garages. There's a difference between a garage or a park and a bus stop.
That's the good thing about the strike.
That's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the
That's
matter.
the good thing about the strike. They're off the road and traffic is light.
You know, and I must say, they've also given us an eye opener now. Yes. We know these are issues, and we will not hesitate as a government to clamp down on anyone that is causing havoc or causing problems for the people of the state.
Okay, Miriam.
So this also now brings me to the question, because when we started this, you said you were not even aware what particular union this was. You had to sort of seek them out. And I wonder what is the protocol for running a transportation business in Lagos State and the forming of unions? Can anyone just indiscriminately just come, put bus drivers together, buy buses and say we have formed a union and then we run our business, and thereby union people can collect fines and levies without the knowledge of the state government? How does that work?
So like I said, in 2004, there's this white paper that Lagos State came out with that for the purpose of organization, you understand, and proper planning, we ought to know, and we recognize only two. There were several unions. At that time, there were a proliferation of unions and associations. We had to tell the Anakowa, Amakoran, all these people, please, either you stay with RTN or you stay with NURT. So all of them fuse into this because it makes it easy for us to be able to plan. Within the union, there are still unions, though. There are still the heads of the Okadas, the heads of the Marwa. However, they have their own organization. But for us to be able to deal with them as a state and have easy access, we deal with only two of them. So, for example, now, if you have transportation business, you buy your buses, of course, you'll have to put them on the roads. So you come to the ministry, or you go to Lamata, for example, we are inviting people to invest in high-capacity buses, our first mile and last mile buses. We have operators that are buying these buses, and then they are working with us. They register with Lamata and the Lagos State Bus, LBLS. Then that is the agency that actually regulate bus services in Lagos State. So you go there and you register. However, if you are running our BRT or our first mile, last mile, or the medium buses, you do not get to pay those unions. That is the truth. If you notice, they don't collect union dues from all those buses, just like you will not see. Say the taxis, for example. The taxis collect union dues from each other. You see those babas sometimes they go and mount and start stopping for those that refuse to pay. You understand? So we are taking them to that level where there will be a model of how you pay. And then they're actually coming up with another thing. That is this barcode that they're doing. That is how they intend now to be collecting their union dues. That will take all these people off the road because we are telling them you need to remove this from the road. And we will not at any point allow anybody, whatever union you are, to disrupt the movement of Lagosians.
Yeah, so okay, let's quickly take this call from Hassan. We have a caller. Good morning, Hassan.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
This transportation issue in Lagos State is a very, very serious problem. And it's crucial for the movement of goods and people. But what is very clear, sir, look, the crux of all this matter is corruption. The admirals are backed by police. Even your agencies that were supposed to maintain law and order on the road, people find a way within the system to form their own illegal enforcement forces to take money from the motorists and the passengers. All this amount you see people paying, passengers are the one paying this money. And we are not helping matters. Even in Ababa, this issue you came out with, instead of Lagos State government last month to enforce the law, to make sure there is a smooth movement of trucks up to the port, the whole thing is marred by corruption now. And that corruption is a monster that is eating deep into our economy. Because we, the consumers, we, the commuters, are the ones paying that money. If you go to the bus stops, you will hear them saying, "Oh, Alejo chairman. Oh, chairman." A lot of things are going on, and the last month are not even helping matters. Instead of LASMA to help to the smooth movement of traffic, they are much more concerned about what they will get. Any law turned out by the state government is giving an opportunity for the police.
Thank you, Hassan. I think we've lost him. So you wanted to
Based
ask?
on what Hassan just said now, how much of enforcement of the laws that are existing that you have talked about is happening?
Okay, thank you very much. So basically, we must get something clear. One is the fact that the police is under the federal government.
Okay.
And then even the traffic management LASMA that was created in Lagos State was as a result of that gap that was seen by government of that day. That, don't forget that it was police that used to do traffic management.
Yes.
But because of the peculiarity of Lagos and the ingenuity of the people in government then, that LASMA was formed to be able to manage the traffic and the law. So that is that. But most of these laws would have to be executed by the police. And that's why I say I give kudos to the CP. Yeah, the CP Lagos have been doing wonderfully well for us, and even the AIG Zone 2. They've done so well for us, but there's still more that needs to be done. Yeah. And on the issue of e-column, I can tell you for a fact, you can attest to it that we've achieved remarkable results in Apapa. However, it is not yet Uhuru, at least along that mile 2 axis, because of the road construction. If the road had been fully constructed, we would even be able to stop in front of a moving truck or a moving trailer. It's because the road is under construction. And by the grace of God, this government will deliver on that project.
Okay, that brings me to a question I always have for issues like this. Do we always have to wait for people to start showing some form of agitation before government moves? I don't know how Lagos State has heard so far of what has been happening, the extortion. Have they not heard anything? Have they not tried to mediate in any way? Do we have to wait till the strike before we now start making moves to sort them out?
Let me quickly explain to you. I've told you before. How did I know that there were 172 points from Agbara to Tinkan Island? It was because we actually investigated. We know, and I told you it has reduced, and we still need to reduce it very well. You understand? I told you the reason why they move these people, these negative elements in the society, moves to buses instead of trucks. So we have been concentrating on the trucks. Now we didn't see this like they were now moving to the buses. You understand now? And then like they brought it to our notice. The immediate thing we did was to start engaging those people, call on the police, have meeting with the police to stop this. And I must say, even before now, as I was saying about Apapa, there are about 12 to 15 different unions and associations dealing with trucks. And what have we done? We have met with them, and I can tell you in the next 1 week, they are coming up with one body. They were still in my office. We still had a meeting twice last week. All the truck unions, say Maun, NATO, Amato, Comtois, and we are trying to bring them so that we can manage them. And what are they saying? They say they want to stop extortion. They are the ones that are saying we want to stop. Okay, let's come out. So you will see a group going out and say, we are stopping extortion when they are collecting money. This one say we are stopping extortion, they are collecting money. So we are saying, all of you come so that we can know that we are dealing with one union along that axis.
Okay, let's take this call. Mr. Richard. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, ladies, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
So I have a question, right? So do you have to belong to a union for you to operate as a transport operator? Or is there a law that says you must belong to a union for you to operate? Doesn't the Lagos State have a mechanism for managing collection of, apart from using the NERCW? Because by what you have said, your guest, it means you have empowered the NERCW to be collecting these taxes and levies on your behalf. So they will always be there. But outside these unions, based on the freedom of association law, must you subject yourself to that union? And the issue of this agbero, your guest is saying it as if it's something that started 2-3 years ago. This is as old as over 30, 40, I don't know, as long as I can remember years. So this is not a new thing. And you're saying it as if it's something new that you're not trying to provide for business.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
I must quickly answer that. It's just like asking the same question, that if you're a lawyer, is it compulsory you join MBA? Madam?
Very compulsory.
Okay.
Until recently, we just saw the Law Society come up.
So what we are saying in essence is this: you can do your business. So if you want to do a transportation business in Lagos State, there are laws, there are rules, there are guidelines, and some of the guidelines is that. So because we don't want proliferation of association, we have seen this thing happen before.
It's even encouraging corruption. So,
Exactly. So everybody just come up and say, okay, we have our own association, we have our own association. How many people do you want to deal with? We should be able to organize that. That's why there's a white paper. And don't forget, NURT was not started by Lagos State. It is recognized under the Constitution because they're a member of NLC. So we cannot say you cannot unionize. And how that is managed is within their own organization. If you want to run transportation business in Lagos State, you'll have to belong to either of these unions. That is as simple as that.
Honorable.
Yes, so, you know, you explained how you have like one daily ticket now where you receive all the dues for Loma and everything, so the 800 naira.
Yes.
And I was wondering, for all the other unions that, you know, unions, local government, whatever, those agberos on the road, is there a way to also have a ticket for them where payment is made daily and then whatever has to do with collection, distributions, you know,
Covers everything.
is done in an office off the roads?
Now, let me explain that to you. You're still asking me to meddle in the affairs of a union. Just like me telling MB, and I'm using this or the Nigerian Medical Association, I say, this is how you should collect your dues. However, what we can say is that we do not want you causing traffic on the road with your collection.
So,
It's as simple as that.
so how would you ensure?
And that is exactly what we are doing. And let me give you an instance. Some few weeks ago, because of this collection, the Road Transport Employers Association people, they were fighting and we had to suspend them and remove their leadership. So Lagos State will not shy away with dealing with anyone where we do not care whose ox is dead. You understand? Who's
Yeah, but her
ox
question
is
is,
So-
are you helping them
That's exactly what I'm
move
saying.
away
So-
from the roads to maybe an office?
I spoke to you about the barcode that he was trying, that
Yes, that's for the taxis.
that they're trying to do. And that's what they're trying to do. However, there's a minimum that we can do as government on now. All we can do is advise them that this is a good one for you guys to do. And that's it. For example, now we are also putting driver badges in the vehicle. You understand it now? To be able to say this is the route you're supposed to go to, this is the route you're not supposed to go to. You understand? That is the way we monitor their activities. And we'll be going out right now to enforce that. They must have their badges in the vehicle so you can identify those. And those badges come with some codes. So what they're trying to do is actually to key into our IT so that they can get it off. However, we've not been able to sit on the table for that.
Okay, final question.
So I wanted to know what's the outcome for the September face-off that happened between the transport unions at Yanoba exactly that happened. And what exactly do you do when you, since they are a union and so uncontrollable, what exactly do you do when you interfere in their face-offs?
Okay, so this is basically what happened. We know that their lifeline is actually the parks and the garages where they do their collection of their unions. So what we do is that because the state is the owner of the parks and the garages. So what we do is that because we cannot prescribe them, we tell them not to enter our parks for their activities. Do you understand it now? Because the parks belong to me, the management of the park. So we only give them, these unions, temporary authority to use the parks. So immediately we see them having issues,
You suspend them.
we suspend their activities in our park, not suspend them, because we don't have that power.
Okay.
So we just suspend their activity in our own park. So that's how we handle that.
They'll take you to the road and causing what
Oh,
happened.
of course, we chase them off the road.
Wow. Thank you so much, Honorable Sola Giwa. I hope that you will continue the conversations with these unions so that they can resolve the issues and businesses will...
Oh, definitely, we are continuing with the discussion, and I want to use this opportunity to tell Lagosians and people doing their business, please go about your business. You will not be molested by anyone. We'll do all we can to make sure that we reduce the issues of harassment and extortion. Please go out because you need the money that to earn and then to earn your living. And also people need to move on. And don't forget, if you are not using your boss, your sister, your cousin, my cousin will not be able to move to where they want to earn.
Thank you so much, Honorable.